Enshrouded Update 6 is now here, and along with it comes literally hundreds of new things, including new spells, weapon gems, resources, recipes, areas, enemies, and so much more. So please join me for the next few minutes as I give you a quick fire breakdown of some of the biggest and best changes and improvements to Enshrouded Update 6. Firstly, in no particular order, let's talk about weapon gems. Weapon gems drop from elite enemies, and there are 22 different weapon gems that you can collect. These are powerful items that can be inserted into your weapons to grant them special effects. Gems can only be inserted in a gem forge, such as this one here, and inserting, removing, and upgrading weapon gems requires archaic essence. You can also recycle a gem to refund some of the essence that was used to upgrade the gem. And as you can see here, I'm just about to apply the Gem of Focused Light to my Greater Golden Twin Flame sword. And this will now mean if I aim or block at an enemy that I'm targeting for a few seconds, it will put a mark on them. Marks can stack, giving me significantly crazy increased amounts of bonus damage at each stack. Before I move on from weapon gems and the gem forge, a few more important details to note is that weapons of higher rarity now have a higher chance for a gem slot. So the higher the rarity of the weapons, the more gem slots and the higher chance of gem slots. But please do note this doesn't apply retroactively to weapons acquired before Update 6 because this is a brand new feature. And also because I think I might have actually skimmed over it when talking about gems themselves, how do you get them? Dangerous enemies now have a chance to drop the new weapon gems, and once found, as I say, weapon gems can be slotted into weapons that have the weapon gem slot at gem forges in the Shroud. Another great new addition to the game is the repair kit. This is very simple, does exactly what it suggests. It will repair your gear for you. Once you've got the necessary materials, this can be crafted with the Hunter, and as you can see, it will restore about 50% durability to all of your weapons. This is absolutely fantastic for longer excursions where you might not be able to find somewhere to repair your weapons, and therefore you would ordinarily have to go back to one of your bases. Now just bring a few repair kits with you, job done. Next up, there's a few new beam spells in the game, Shroud Beam and Heal Beam. I've only been playing solo, so it's a bit hard for me to demo Heal Beam for you, but you can see loads of footage throughout this video of me using Shroud Beam. It is absolutely just so crazy powerful. Absolutely love this spell. Obviously, if you use it on Shroud enemies, they are quite resistant to it, but when I'm using it against other things, they just absolutely melt. I won't dwell on this point for long because you'll see lots of me using the Shroud Beam throughout the video. It is just absolutely awesome. There is a ton of new enemies in the game now, especially in Shroud areas. Just to name a few, you have got flying jellies, both medium and large, which you'll see me fighting a few of throughout the video clips here. The Predator, which is a new elite, Critter Queen, Tentacles and Brain, the Fog Nest Drone, loads and loads of new enemies in the Shroud areas. So make sure you come fully equipped and armed and ready for combat, because there's some scary new enemies out there ready to try and murderize you. And as we are already on the topic of enemies and combat, another few great additions to this include a new type of enemy spawner. These interactive enemy spawners will literally spawn elites for you. So if you do need to farm elites for particular materials and resources for some of the new recipes, which we'll talk about later, then this is an absolutely fantastic way to do that. There is 29 summoning stones, that's what they're called. This is the new location type where you can spawn and farm elites. Absolutely fantastic addition to the game. There are also new silver level reward chests in the Shroud, along with improved enemy spawns and combat. So just awesome combat enhancements across the board. And actually, as we are also already talking about the Shroud as well, there is a ton of new locations in the game. Just so many, like around 100. And a lot of them are focused on the Shroud. So you have the new Shroud Nest with unique terrain, resources, and 42 new points of interest, along with obviously all of the summoning stones that I just mentioned. There are 22 new locations for the abandoned Shroud ruins, 50 new locations for Shroud Forges, and a few new camps for the Vukka and Scavenger factions as well. So a ton of new stuff to go and explore and sink your teeth into. Before we move on to the next section, there's actually a bunch more additional Shroud details that I wanted to tell you about, because it really has had such a huge overhaul in this patch. So firstly, the Shroud has received a full visual rework with updated materials and textures. And this next sentence gets a little bit too technical for me, but hopefully some people will know exactly what it means. They have also rewritten the volumetric renderer to give the Shroud and clouds a higher visual fidelity. So I don't know what it means, but it does look cooler, I know that much. There have been landscape overhauls across all shrouded zones, adding more variety, verticality, and reasons to explore. As I'll talk about throughout the video, there's over 100 new points of interest, from hidden nooks to substantial new encounters. And many existing points of interest have also been refreshed and reimagined for better gameplay. And along with a bunch of new enemies, some enemies old and new can also now apply curses or diseases with their attacks, and cures for these curses can be crafted with new resources and recipes. I also mentioned earlier about farming elites for resources and materials. There are 28 new resources in Shroud areas for some of the new recipes. This includes updated recipes for flame upgrades and armor crafting, obviously the repair kit and the new channel spells that I mentioned earlier, along with tinting palettes in the coloring station, an absolute ton of color tints and complete full cosmetic options for you. There is also 3 brand new armor sets in Shroud Optics, Warrior, Ranger and Mage, and 3 new terrain materials, so a ton of new resources and recipes also. And before we get on to the last of the main new things that I wanted to show off to you and talk to you about today, please do note that this list isn't exhaustive, because I didn't want to just tell you every single thing that was in the game and completely spoil it for you. I want you to go in and check it out yourself as well. That's why I've skimmed over a few of these new things, because I'd like you to really be able to go in and experience it for yourself without being spoiled by everything. And that is also exactly why I'm talking about a lot more than I'm showing, because I don't want to just give away every single new enemy and item in the game. And actually, before we move on to the next section, I just want to highlight a bunch of new improvements, changes, and bug fixes. There have actually been hundreds of these to all existing aspects of the game. And here is a few examples, and I mean literally just a few, because I could be here chewing your ear off all day if I listed all of the new improvements, changes, and bug fixes. So firstly, they have updated lots of assets across the board with higher quality models. Most notably, there are lots of updated plants and new bushes and trees. So the foliage across the game should look even more beautiful than ever. And they've improved basically all particle effects, meaning explosions now look cooler than ever before. And to compensate for the additional areas to discover in the Shroud, and the fact that shrouded areas are now tougher than ever, they have added far more occurrences for the Shroud time restoring hourglass capsules, allowing you to continue your exploration for longer than ever before. They have also significantly reworked the landscape in many areas of Embervale. The Nomad Highlands and the Kindle Wastes have especially received a visual overhaul, among others, with new terrain topology, new and updated vegetation, and terrain texture improvements. Also, for a couple of the changes that I was very happy to see, they have fixed the comfort level for paper lanterns and sofas, and fixed an issue with factory workstations. It is now possible to add either 1 or 10 stacks of resources from magic chests to the inventory when the factory is not currently running. As I say, this is just a sprinkling of the hundreds of improvements, changes and bug fixes that have gone into Enshrouded Update 6. So now that you know that, let's move on to the final section of the video. There are now lots of things that can only be done at night, including a bunch of new stuff. So just to give you a few quickfire examples, there are 16 new night temple puzzles, new night-themed consumables, and also new insects and plants that can only be harvested at night. So make sure you are going with your best nighttime gear. Make sure you have at least some way to see in the absolute pitch black that is night in Enshrouded, so that you can go and explore and soak in all of the new awesome things you can do at night as well. And I'm not done there. I'm not done there. There is a bunch more night stuff as well. There are enemy groups that will patrol around that grant you valuable crafting resources upon defeat. There are more fogger enemies in the Overshroud and temporary shroud areas, and even new day and night themed vanity outfits. So as I say, my friends, this is literally just scratching the surface of everything that is available in Update 6. I believe I've hit on most topics, but I've skimmed over them because I didn't want to just spoon feed you everything. I'd love for you to be able to go and check it out for yourself. And to do that, you can click the link down below in the description or the pinned comment if you don't have Enshrouded already. With that, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.